Hey, you just met my kiddo. Hey guys, it's Saturday and I've already did shop my stash, but I don't know if I did a video like this yet, but I would like to do a video and show you the books that I have in my book collection. That some of them I have read, some of them I have not read. And I'm going to show you the book that I actually checked out from my library. This book is inspired by a true story that gasped the nation, and it's called Lost Boy Found by Christian Alexander. She is a very good author. This book is pretty good so far. I just got this book like the other day, and I'm like just started chapter 3. I was reading on it last night and I was falling asleep, so I only read the first page of chapter 3. But so far, this is a pretty good book. One missing child, 2 given mothers. So it's pretty good. Let me read some of this, the back, so you know some of it. It says, on a summer day in 1913, at a half-moon lake, Louisiana, 4-year-old Sonny the Porter walked into the woods and never returned. His mystery disappearance from the family lake house made front page news in the hometown of Opelous, John Henry and Mary Davenport are wealthy and influential and will do anything to find their son. For 2 years, Davenport searched across the south of the Indian large reward and struggled not to give in to despair. 2 given mothers. At the moment when we all hope seem lost, the boy is found in the company of a tramp. But is he truly Sonny Davenport? The question becomes even more completed with the arrival of Grace Miller, an awful farm worker from Alabama who lays claim to the child as 2 departed mothers fight for the boy. Everyone will start to lose sides, testing loyalties and nations of the truth and the meaning of the word family. This book is $16.99, but if you're in Canada and you buy it, it's like $22.99. But if this book gets lost or something like that, it's supposed to say in here, but it's not saying. It's supposed to say how much I would have to pay for the book, but it's not. So anyway, but a very good book so far, and I have to say it's not a bad book to read. Go to your nearest library and check. Make a reading list of books that you would like to read and check them out from the library. I know school started for some countries, some states. School has started, and it does not hurt to do a summer reading list and a winter reading list. You know, spring break will be coming around. You got Thanksgiving holiday. You got Christmas holidays. Think about what books, like put 5 or maybe even 10 books that you would want to start reading from, like, say, November 1st, say until the end of December, until the 31st of December, and see how many, if you pick out 10 books that you'd want to read, write down, see how many books you read, write them down on a list, and every time you read it, mark it. Somewhere on my desk over here, I do have it somewhere. The books that I got, like this one, I would write down Lost Boy Found. I write it down, the books I want to read. And once I get the book and I read it, if I like the book, I highlight it, showing I want to buy that book. There are some books here that was on my reading list that I wanted to buy the book. Well, well, not I want to. I don't know if I really would want to buy it because I haven't read it yet, but it's on my it was on my summer reading list, and I saw it at the library for sale, and I went on ahead and bought it, so I didn't have to check it out. And I have the book, so if I did like it, I didn't have to highlight it and say, okay, I'll still highlight it, but I don't have to go buy it because I've already got it. But there's other things as well, and this is a book. This one brings back so many memories. This is a special edition with 12 new poems. This is a book by Cheryl Silverton. Poems and Drawings by Cheryl Silverton. It's called The Light in the Attic. And this is a book that I had. I say Cheryl. Sal Silverton, sorry. And I had this book. I've had this book for a very long time. And I know it kind of looks new because I read it 50 billion times. I like this book, and when I want a good laugh or a good poem to just say, I look for this book. I like this book a lot. I don't know how many times I've checked this book out in elementary school. I've checked this book out in junior high so many times. I've checked out this book so many times in high school that I always go back, and I always told myself in high school that one of these days I was going to find this book and buy it. I had a picture of the cover of the book. Well, not a picture, the book. I took it home and I was reading it, and I was showing my mom, I want this book, and I kept begging and begging for the book. I never got the book. Now sometimes I wish back in high school and junior high I would ask for more books, and I did. Back in junior high I started reading the Breakfast Club books, and I had every Breakfast Club book. I had the whole collection, and there was over 140, no, almost 200 or something of them series of the books, and I had them. And I remember for my birthday, every year for my birthday, my mom and dad would buy me one of the books. My grandmother would buy me a book, but they put their heads together and make sure they didn't buy me the exact same book. And for Christmas, I got the book as well, but I never got this book. I bought this book on my own, and I love it. Alright, another book that I bought is a New York Times bestseller, To All the Boys I Loved Before by Jenny Han. Netflix, now a Netflix film. There is a movie on Netflix, To All the Boys I Loved Before. They made, it's a film. Some of these books, you get at the library, they're like new, but some of them you can get, and it might have a page flipped or something. I saw one book one time, and a piece of the corner was ripped, and I asked the lady, I said, it's ripped. What could that word be? And so she read it, and we tried to figure it out, and I was like, I'll just go whatever. But this book is good. This book is the book that started it all. Now a Netflix film. Mona James keeps her love letters in a hat box her mother gave her. Now there's also another one called P.S. I Still Love You, Always and Forever, Love, Jean, and Jenny Han. Okay. Got a nasty taste in my mouth. I think it's the lip balm I was using. Give me a second. Okay. Yeah, it's the lip balm I used. So I'm actually gonna throw that lip balm in the trash. But anyway, it says they aren't love letters that anyone else wrote for her. These are ones she written. One for every day, every boy she ever loved. 5 in all. When she writes, she can pour out her heart and soul and say all the things she would never say in real life because her letters are for her eyes only until the day her secret letters are mailed and suddenly Lord Jean's love life goes from imaginary to out of control. I want to get the other books. I definitely want to read this book. Getting on to other books. This is Mensa Quest by Kate M. Payton. Another book that I have in my collection I definitely want to read. I'm not, kind of reminds me that I've already did this video, but I'm doing it again. Minute is just a blacksmith's daughter, yet she succeeds in relaxing a stiffly abandoned foil, turning him into the pride of a Roman cavalry. Her stubborn determination and family nature burns brightly in quiet, for soon attacks and abortion. Secret admissions of a proud contender, Pharaoh. But even though cannot imagine the part of Minas and her beloved horse will play when orphaned and treated by women pirates, by bloodthirsty pirates, discovers to save her people and to risk all as she sets out on a precious journey over land and waves to find help. This is like a desperate adventure. Now, they could have more of these books like this. This could be a series. I'm not really for sure. When I saw the book, I thought it looked pretty good. And anytime I buy a book, I always read the back of the book to make sure it is something I definitely want to read and would purchase. And the girl on the cover, she's pretty. So, alright. The next two books I'm going to talk about is John Green. Now, whether I'm related to him or not, this author, I don't know. My brother-in-law is John Green, but that doesn't mean this John Green is my brother-in-law. You have John Green, Turtles, All the Way Down. Another good book. We also have The Fault in Our Stars. You have Will Grayson. And we have an ambulance of something. I can't really read it, but I bought this book at the library. And I thought it'd be pretty cool to read. Laugh, Cry, and Think. So here are the other books that you can get by John Green. I have not read this book yet, but I intend to read some of these books for sure. This one is The Fault in Our Stars. Now, as a #1 New York bestseller, I had the movie. It got stolen, but I also have the book. My husband bought me the book. So, I know it's not my brother-in-law because my brother-in-law don't look like that. But I was, trying to hint one day to him that we should write a book together. And I'm really wanting to write a book. And I've been working on writing a really good book. And I have written. And I just got to find a way to type it on the computer and get sent out and see if people like it. But if you've seen the movie, you basically know what the book is about. If you read the book but not seen the movie, you know what the movie's basically about. The actors are good in the movie. This book is really good. Thank you to John Green for writing this book. It was very good. The movie was sad and good. Yes, I am going to buy the movie again. And this time it's staying in my office and nobody's going to know I have it. Okay, let's get here. I'm going to get a little bit of books here. So I can put it here. Now another book that I have, and I have the movie, The Outsiders. Now I've read this book more than once. I probably read this book about 50 billion times. I read this book back in high school and I did a book report on it. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't make an A, but I did make a C on my book report, which is not bad, but it was pretty good. And when I came to school and doing my report, I remember that weekend I did my report. I had my mother go get a Bop magazine. And a lot of y'all probably know what that is. And I took a picture of Ralph DiMaggio, who played in Outsiders, and Patrick Swayze and Tom Cruise that was in the magazines, and put them in my book report. And I wrote on there Hunkalicious because they were cute. I really did like them so much back then. They were nice, but not a bad book. I would read this book. My son actually wants the movie I have, and he wants the book. He said he wants to sit here and read the book, and then after he reads the book, he wants to read the movie, or not read, but watch the movie, but read the book. And I told him, I said, whether the book is bad and you don't want my grandson to hear some of the stuff in the book, read it anyway. Just sit there and read it. And he was asking me, he says, well, no, I have a question, Mom. And when I asked him what that was, he wanted to know, let's see here, I'll tell you. He wanted to know how many chapters was in the book, and there's 12 chapters in this book. Another book I have, I had the movie as well. My son gave the movie to his ex-girlfriend, Mackenzie. Beautiful was in Entertainment Weekly. If I say, what would you do if you had to choose? The New York Times bestseller by Graydon Orman. But anyway, you can see the name. And there are some other books from them as well. I watched the movie. The movie was very good. And the movie is just like the book. If you read the book, then you know what the movie's about. If you watch the movie and you have not read the book, you basically know what the book is about. But still, if you haven't seen the movie, go read the book and then watch the movie, because it is kind of heartwarming a little bit. But it's just good. On a day that started like any other, Mia had everything she loved. Everything: a loving family, a gorgeous, adorable boyfriend, and a bright future full of music and full of choices. Then, in an instant, almost all that is taken from her, caught between life and death, between a happy past and an unknowable future. Mina spends one criminal day competing the only decision she has left the most important decision she'll ever make. Simply terrific and hopeful, this moment is a romantic, revealing, and ultimate uplifting story about memory, music, loving, dying, and living. Or living, dying, and loving. So basically, she has a choice. Does she stay on this earth or does she die? Read the book, watch the movie. You'll find the answer. I'm not going to tell you the answer. The next book is called The Secrets Man by John Dean. Pretty good book. I started reading this book. I got to chapter 4 and I stopped because of the fact that the Lost Boy book had came in, so I quit reading this book because I was kidding. But I am going to read a lot of these books. I'm going to read them again and get them going as well. Alright. The next one, I have the movie of this book. Like I said before in the other ones, if you've seen the movie, you know what the book is about. But read the book first and then watch the movie. The #1 New York best time seller, over 1 million copies in print. The Shack. Were truly comfort and entering by William P. Young. This book has political to do for our generation, and it is a very good book. It's sad, but it's good, and the movie is sad. Once you start watching the movie and you understand it, and you read the book and you understand the book, and then you watch the movie more explains more about what really happens by watching it and reading it as well. But it's sad. I cried in this movie. My husband cried in this movie. I even took this movie to my friend's house and we watched it, and she literally cried in this movie. So, another movie I have and book I have, if you have not seen the movie Fireproof, it is the #1's best time seller. This book is as well, and so is the movie Fireproof. It's called The Love Diary. If you watch the movie Fireproof, and you've seen the movie Fireproof, then you know that in there his dad gives him a love diary. And it tells him different days, like day 18, love, seek, and understanding. And it tells you different things. I've read this book so many times. And he tries to do everything he can for his wife. And she still doesn't want to be with him. But then at the end, they become back together into one. And he actually gets God in his life. And she, as well, gets God in her life. Same with the movie The Shack. The Shack, he starts believing in God, and he gets God in his life. After he meets God and everything, he gets God in his life. Just like on Fireproof, if you watch the movie, he is on the computer constantly watching porn. Porn is his thing. Saving up money to buy this big old boat. But the other thing that is more important to him than his wife is porn. And some wives don't like that, and some wives don't care. Sorry, my shoulder itches. Sorry, this video is going to be long, but it's okay. Recent book I recently bought was this book, and I was thinking of Joey McIntyre when I bought this book, and because of the book, I was called Finding Joe. And it's by Rebecca Hunn. I have not read this book yet. I looked at a shady episode of Central America a century ago. Many men may mean big money for great nieces and great nephews in the West Virginia gas patch. But one of them, Joseph Morgan Tillow, is missing. And unless oil and gas leasing agent Donna Koren can find him, there will be no payout for anyone. It indicates Dance and Donna, with the help of Joe's two sisters, pushes forward in the search while keep a wary eye on Joe's ex-Marine brother, Arnold. So I haven't really read this book, but I was thinking of Joe, and it said Finding Joe, and I thought that was so cool. Alright, this next book is a big, huge, thick book, and it's called The Host. And I kept saying I was going to put this book, and if I had to go in the hospital or something, I could sit here and read on this book, but I do have a book in my bag for that. Some other books that I have here. Okay, let me do this real quick. This one is called Amelia Allwater Rose, Demons in My View, a Den of Shadows book. It's like a demon book. I just thought the picture was cool. And I was reading the back of it. And there are other books that go along with this book, and I thought it would be cool to have basically the whole collection and read them and see what it's all about. Next book is one of my favorite books. I do have an autographed picture of her. I feel like I've known her for years and I've met her in person, which I probably have a long time ago and just don't realize it. This is Tara Joel, fierce at 4'2", and she sent me this book free because I had put this on my Amazon wishlist to get this book, but it was actually free, and I love it. With little more than a dream in her heart. And she talks about her life and her family's life, and I really do like that book. The other one, this is by Trent Shelton with Louis Aronica. This book, Face Reality, Reese Neglectivity, and Love Your Purpose. Now, I've read this book on here, and I've talked about this book. God has a purpose for everybody on earth. What it is, nobody knows. But God has a purpose for you of being on this earth. And this book is called The Greatest You. If you have not read this book, he is on TikTok. No, I think he's on TikTok. But I know he's on Instagram and Facebook, and he talks about things. He is like a life coach. This book helped me out a lot. This book has made me think. If y'all remember watching some of my videos, how I talked about a guy here where I used to live had a major crush on me. And he liked me. But reading this book made me turn the person down and not be friends with that person anymore. And I have not talked to that person in over 4 years. Thanks to Trent, he has changed my life, and I'm doing a lot better. And reading the book, Tara Jo, she's done the same. She has helped me out a lot. Being short, I'm only 4'11", so being short as she is saying be fierce. She's fierce at 4'2". I can be fierce at 4'11", and not letting things, get into it. Now, these are books, and there's more than one of these books. And this is Sisters in the Seasons. Lisa William Kane, Seasons of Change. I read this book. Oh my god, this book is so, so good. I got this book when I was 46 years old. No, like 47 now, but not very many chapters. There are more. There's Summer Wolves, Wild Horse Spring, Blue Autumn Cruise, Winter Ties, different ones of the seasons of the books. I definitely want to get all the books and whatnot, but these are some books inside here that I definitely want to put on my reading list. I'm trying to start a reading list for, like I said, in November, December, and try to read books for November, December, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 books here I want to put on the reading list, and I know I can get them read. I sat and read this whole book. I did not put it down. I bought this book at a Christian bookstore. Did not put it down. I would like to buy these books. I looked on Amazon, and Amazon had them, but they didn't have all of them. But they did have a bunch of this book, so that was pretty good. Okay, here we go. Put some more books up here. This next book is called Still Mating by Kim Richardson. This is book 1, Devoted Remix. This is book 1 of Still Mating. Now, this book is on one of my reading lists as well. As well as what's it called? The Secret Man. Paige Koren. Is it Paige Koren? I think it's Paige Koren. Well, Paige Koren and Allie Dawson talked about this book and that book, that it was on their reading list, that they had the books and wanted to read them, and this was one. This is number 1. There's more series of this book here. I've not read this book yet, so I think there's like 2 of these books. Okay, wait. Okay, no. There is this one, Witch Queen, which is book 2. So I gotta find Witch Queen and read it. But there's also, if you look here, books by Kim Richardson, Soul Guardianess series, and there's 8 of them books, and Majestic series, there's 3 of them books, and Division Films, which I have now, Still Mating, which is number 1, and then you have number 2, which is the Witch Queen. She's on Twitter, she's on Facebook too, and she has a website, so I may look her up on Facebook and say, hey, I've got your book Still Made, and I have not read it yet. It's on my to read list. I do want to read books in the library as well, but I need to also get off my lazy butt and start reading books I need to have. Now, this book was not on my reading list, and this book was not brought from anybody for me to read. It's the book of 3, the selection series. And this one's called, there's 3 of these books, and it's called The One. There's called a movie called The One too. The One, this is selection, you got light, selection series, and there, or her, those are some on the back. 35 rows equipped selection, only one can win. One crown, one her, the first of 2 Captivity's new novels in the selection series. So, I'm not saying I want to get the whole series, but I do definitely want to read this one. If I like this one and I think I want to read the other series, then I will get the other series and read them. If not, even that, I know my name is in this book. I'm not going to know my name ain't in this book. Okay, my name's not in this book, but I might decide to give this book to somebody and get the collection for them and say, here's a series of books, go ahead, sit and read. And let them read the books to see what it's all about. This one here is Land of the Hundred Wonders, a novel by Lisa Koren, nation bestseller author of Wrestling in the Dark. I was looking to see if there's any. Okay, there's no more, but there's Q&A and a conversation guide. This would be a book, like this book, I would say, this would be a book that I would actually want to do a book club. If you're doing a book club, this would be a book that I would say, let's do a book club on it. And I would say probably this one too, to do a book club on it. If you are a teacher, I would say The Outsiders. Say Fireproof, The Outsiders, Fault in the Stars in Our Eyes, and The Shack would be good movies to read the book, and when you're done reading the book, watch the movie and have the class do a book report on it. It'd be good. This one is by Jennifer A. Nielsen, New York's best-time seller author, The False Prince, and this one's called Residence. And I saw the cover of this book, and I said, oh, that's going to be a good book to read. I really thought it would be a good book to read. I know, let's see here, if I'm not mistaken, okay, hang on. Okay, there's 49 chapters in this book, which is not bad. I know some people can't read big books like that big one I have over here. That I talked about the host, Stephanie Myers, the author. It's by the author of Twilight. She's a good author, and the Twilight books are good. The Twilight movie is good. I had all the Twilight books, but they got ruined, so I had to throw them away. I had them when I had my office downstairs, and I had them set up nicely like this, where you could see this part of them, and it leaked from the ceiling, and the books got wet and ruined, and I threw them away. They were like molded, black mold, nasty, and no. So, another good book, and I can't, A Night Divided. It says on the back, A Night Divided. So I cannot wait to start reading it. A lot of these books are going to be good to read. Okay. These, okay, are by different people. Now, another book that was on my reading list that actually Paige and Allie Dawson talked about was The Silent Patient by Alex. Not read this book yet. I wanted to start reading it one day. I was like, oh, I'm going to start reading. I might have started reading. No. I made a bookmarker. And I stuck it there, and I was like, okay, I'm going to read this book someday. But I have not really read it, but I hear it's supposed to be a good book. They said it was good. I think it was a book that Allie was fixing to read in one of her reading lists. I will link Allie down in the description box. Allie Dawson and Paige Koren. I will link them in the description box, their name. And go check them out, because they are some good people. Okay, and I've already talked about No, I haven't talked about that one. Okay. This one is by John Dean, Strange Little Girl. And I saw this when I was checking out books on the Report website, library website, looking up, and I was like, let's see about this book, this book, this book. And I saw this book. It said Strange Little Girl on there. And I said, so I put that on my reading list. And I walked into the library to turn in some coupons and magazines and other stuff. And I saw this book and I said, that's on my reading list. And it was like 75 cents for this book. I was like, I can't pass that deal up. And I didn't pass it up. And it was good. Now, let's see. Also by James Dean, John Dean, The Secret Man, which is here as well. John Dean there's series. You have The Longest, or The Long Dead. You have The Railway Man. I have The Secret Man over here. A Bridge of Trust. Deathless. The Flicker and the Night. So, I got 2 of his books. So we're going to see if he's pretty good, because I'm going to read one and then read the next one afterwards. So I'm definitely going to put them 2 books together. Then I have this one by Marilyn Brown, The Naked Truth, a young, beautiful, and HIV positive woman. And when it said HIV and I read that, I was like, I want to read this book, because there's so many people out there you may not know that probably does have AIDS or has a problem, and they cannot get rid of the disease that they have. My son has cerebral palsy, my oldest son. Will he ever get rid of cerebral palsy? No. He will always walk with his hand like this, and he will always have his one foot standing on his tippy toes. He's had 3 surgeries trying to correct it, and it's not going to correct it. And he don't need no more surgeries. So, the next book is A Man of His Own. Man of His Own. This was cute because it's a dog book. So I'm sitting here and I looked through these books to see if there's like any other that goes with it. And this one has A Man of His Own. We have the one, Every Dog Needs a Man of His Own. So we have that one by Susan Wilson. It's just one good dog. The dog who danced. And of course we have this one. Oh, these are and then he's got The Dog Who Saved Me. These are audio books they talk about in the back. And audiobooks are okay to read, but another book I want to get started reading. Now, these are the last books I have. Now, these are the last books I have. This is a book that I have that's in my traveling bag. So if I go to the hospital, or if I have to do dialysis, or something happens, or even if I go on a trip. And then she was gone. This is on the reading list too. Paige and Allie Dawson talks about these books too by Christopher Garrison. Now there are, I think, some other ones, I believe, of this book. Let's see here. Jack situation. She has Girl Jackknifed in the book. Jacks Are Wild. Jack and the Giant Killer. Dada Jack of Hearts. Jack Frost. Pleasure of Heart. The Girl Who Lived. So those are some other ones. Also, he has one called Everyone Keeps Secrets. So, another one, I need to put that back in my bag. These are series books as well. This is #1 New York Best Time Sellers series. These are Quiniques. Yeah. A Quinique novel by Lisa Lisi Harrison. This one is Breakfast at Tiffanys. These are preteen books, kind of like young adult books. And of course, I have the books. I've read all these books, and I wouldn't mind reading them again. You have Breakfast at Tiffany's. You got a pretty. Did I say breakfast? Yeah, Breakfast at Tiffany's. A Pretty Community Strikes Back. So if you're like young adult, I love reading young adults books too. I love reading not adult romance, but young adult romance books are good. You have this one. I got on this book. Dial for Losers. And here's a picture of the author. Very beautiful girl. Then you have It's Not Easy Being Me. And I like that if you look at, well, these right here, the patterns of the book, and then this one has this pattern, which is, kind of cool. And then if you want, look at this one here, Best Friends Forever, and the patterns are different, but I love the patterns of the books. So, this video is so long. I'm sorry guys, it's long. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Until next time guys, I do hope you enjoy it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified of more videos. I do upload 7 days a week. On Mondays, I do Monday reviews. On Tuesdays, I do about Tuesdays. Wednesdays, I do a shopping haul, whether it's a book haul or a shopping haul somewhere. On Thursdays, I talk about my health and other things and help you figure out things for your health to get you better in tip-top shape, as well as I'm trying to do for me, which I got a little secret. I got to do a lot better. I'm gaining weight, not losing weight. I'm getting fatter, not thinner. So if you know anything else that will help me out, let me know in the description box down below. On Fridays, I do Friday Fave. Saturday, Shop My Stash. And Sunday Lesson, which I'm reading from the Bible. If there is a book that you have read that you think is good, that you think I should put on my reading list, let me know in the description box down below. Maybe if you read books and you have want to make a video of some of the books that you read or wanting to read, make a video. Let me know about it, because I definitely would love to check it out. Until next time, bye guys.